The views and opinions expressed in this podcast by the host and or the guest do not necessarily reflect the views of the host and or Paranormal Buzz Radio and or its sponsors. Use of any material produced by Paranormal Buzz Radio without express written consent is prohibited. Paranormal Buzz Radio will not be held responsible for you holding your knees, crying, and rocking in a corner in a puddle of your own urine, or being beheaded by a group of children in a cornfield. In fact, if you come across a group of children in a cornfield, we promise to make fun of you as you run away screaming in terror. Listener discretion is advised. You are now entering the all-consuming realm of Shea's Paranormal Chat, where the things that are better left unsaid are actually said.
Shut up and sit down.
You're listening to Shea's Paranormal Chat. Paranormal podcasting done Shea's way. Tons of fun.
Dude, seriously?
A bit sarcastic.
Hashtag investigator, not hunter.
But always real.
Hashtag data, not evidence.
Don't get your panties in a twist.
Oh my god, really?
This is real, raw conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us. This is Shea from Shea's Paranormal Chat, TGIF as always. And tonight we are actually going to flip the script. We have Mr. Darin Buss on tonight as a guest host. And not only is he a guest host, but Darin is going to be interviewing me tonight. So I'm very excited. This has been in the works for a while now. Hey, Darin, how you doing?
Excellent. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Other than the flu, because, you know.
Yeah, I haven't gotten that just yet. Knock on wood. Everybody else has.
Yeah. I'm sure the listeners know by now this is a pre-recorded show, and I'm just getting over the flu. I'm not sure when this is going to air, but we both had time today, so we're going to pre-record it. I'm excited.
So am I.
Yeah. You've been working on these questions for months.
Somewhat, yeah. Some I just kind of nailed down in like a few hours, like yesterday.
Yeah. And I have no idea what the questions are. He offered to give them to me, and I said, nope, surprise me, so.
Yeah, well, gotta keep people wondering, so.
Yeah, you know, I tend to do that. They never know what they're going to get.
That is true. That is true.
I consider it a good quality. Some think it's a bad quality, but you know.
Hey, I always like a surprise once in a while, you know.
Yeah, see?
Who doesn't?
It gets boring. You got to keep them guessing, or it becomes mundane. You know.
Exactly.
Boring.
Exactly.
All right, take it away. Here, it's your show. Take it away.
All right, Shea. So, I got some interesting questions for you, and whether you like them or not, we'll find out. So the first question I got is, who is Shea Carroll?
It's a relatively easy answer for the most part. I am a mother, a daughter, a sister, a friend, compassionate, caring person that puts on airs, shows that she's hardcore but is a real softie at heart. I care way too much about people and things, so it comes off that I don't care, but that's just to protect myself. But my pride and joy are my children, close to family. I'm a paranormal investigator. Co-owner of Paranormal Buzz Radio, but I'll always state that I'm a mother first.
Yeah, yeah. And that's that's what you got to do. So people understand that you separate both work and home life and stuff like that. So, and know where your stands are. So that is a very good answer.
Thank you.
Let's see here. So why is it that you chose to do podcasting instead of like Facebook or like YouTube Live or something like that? What got you into this field to start?
Podcasting kind of fell into my lap very early on in my paranormal investigating days. I'm not sure which happened first, if I started doing panels to help a friend that didn't have enough people to do panels, so I filled in on these panels. And then the first time I was a solo guest, accidentally had to fill in for a friend, and it just happened. And then I kept doing them, and I wasn't even in the field for a year when I first started doing podcasting as a guest. Excuse me. And I became a regular on a show, on a panel. Kept helping friends out when I could. Then I became a guest. Co-host to fill in, or guest co-host. Then I became a fill-in co-host. Then I became a full-time co-host, and I became a host. And within 7 shows of me becoming the host of Shea's Paranormal Chat, the network shut down. And next thing I knew, I had a network with Matt. And here we are a year and a half later.
It's been a ride, I tell you that. It's been a ride.
It has.
A lot of very interesting guests you've had on. By far, I guess I should say, who's been your favorite guest so far?
That is a tough question because I like all the guests except one. And I can say that because you can no longer find that show anywhere because it's been deleted. But I have to say my favorite guest is Kelly, because she didn't start off as my co-host. She started off as a guest on the original Shea's Paranormal Chat. She was the last guest on the show I was co-hosting, coincidentally.
Was that on Blog Talk Radio?
No, it was not.
Okay.
She was then the first guest on Shea's Paranormal Chat. And then on the team she was on, the episode 1, the original one. And then, coincidentally, she was on as Kelly McCarville Moonspinner talking about her events. And then she became the co-host on this episode. So it really went full circle.
You guys have been a really good pair doing your shows and stuff, and keeping people on their tippy toes and not knowing what's going to happen next.
Thank you. She keeps me balanced too. She ropes me in when I need to be and shuts me up when I need to be shut up, and it's a hard task to do, but she does it well.
It's those silent kicks, right?
Yep. She's one of my best friends. We're really close, so it worked out well.
Yeah, I mean, that just from my standpoint, too, with her, I mean, I kind of was at a lost in roads myself. About a year or so, I had a lot of medical issues going on, and I kind of didn't know where to go. So I went to Facebook, and I coincidentally crossed over to, or came up on Raven Rose Paranormal.
Yep.
And I think that was in March, and that's when I met Kelly. That's when I met you.
Yep.
And it's just been a whirlwind for that almost a year now.
Yeah.
And I got to meet her at her one of her events in Ames, and it's just after going to that event, it's like it's amazing how much more closer we all got. It's just. It takes one time just to do something like that, So
Kelly has a way of reaching people. She really does.
Oh, yeah.
She's genuine. She's authentic. She cares about people, but she has a no bullshit attitude either.
Right.
And it's a great combination.
And what's so funny is that, before I came across all you guys, I believe it was in October or November. I can't remember which month it was. I was in the middle of doing stuff for, I was reviewing shows for VidiSpace.
Yes.
And
that's how I found you first. You Twisted one.
Yeah. And I did not realize that Kelly was on Ghost Crier. And from there, it's just like, oh, wow, two and two connected. That I did a show on this group, and she was part of it and didn't realize it.
And now you've come full circle.
Exactly.
You got multiple paranormal families going on. You're Twisted. You got Raven Rose. You got Paranormal Buzz.
Exactly.
And you're an intricate part of all of these stories.
I mean, I didn't really get started with my questions until maybe a few shows into Raven Rose. And then I think I was pretty much quiet on a few shows on your network.
Yeah.
And then for some reason it all broke out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just there's a few times there where we were on Raven Rose, and I said something, and I think I got a funny look on Roland's face, like, what is he doing? I mean,
I've gotten that look from Roland a few times myself, so.
And he's like, is he contradicting me? I'm like, wait a minute, no, it's just a question. It's like I confused him pretty quick, and that's just the one thing I guess that's kind of how it all got started with my questions and how deep I got with some of this stuff, and catch people off guard and not knowing what to say.
Yep.
And I'm glad I stuck with my guns there and just kept pushing forward, and I knew right away the way how this all was going that this is the direction I needed to go and where I needed to be. Getting known all those people with VidiSpace, and now Dan Class, he and I are, we talk every once in a while on Messenger, and it's just a really awesome thing.
Well, you have good taste because Dan Class is another awesome person.
I mean,
I'll be meeting him for the first time in person in a couple weeks here.
I mean, I hoped I know he was going to be at the Dubuque Expo, and I was hoping to get down there to see him, to talk to him and stuff, but I don't know if that's going to work out or not. It's just the way how my wife rolls if she's wanting to drive. Yeah. So, me, I'm not a very good driver. I stay in the city.
Yeah, you told me that before. Yeah.
Yeah, so, but anyway, I guess we can, we'll push forward on some more questions here, getting a little off mark here.
It wouldn't be Shea's Paranormal Chat if we didn't get off point.
That is true. That is true. So with all your shows and the topics that you guys have on your shows, what is the message that you are wanting to send to your viewers?
I just want to bring information. Whether I agree with it or not is out. That doesn't even matter. I just want to bring information. I want to bring different point of views, different perspectives on things, and paranormal investigators, paranormal enthusiasts, people in general are smart enough to make up their own minds. So why not bring as many point of views, as many beliefs, as many opinions as you can, and people can sort it out for themselves. A lot of things, I don't know how I feel about things. I pick up things here and there, and I change my mind every week, and I keep learning. So that's my objective, is to just bring information.
Yeah. And that you do. I mean, you bring a very positive spotlight to podcasting, which, here again, I've never thought I would be part of podcasting, but I find myself more and more turning the TV off and putting the podcasting on.
Yep.
I mean, that's how you influenced me as much as you have to, be in there and just turning that TV off and learning new people and try and get in their heads and stuff like that and try to mess them up once in a while.
See, that means a lot to me because I don't want to influence people, but if I make you think, that's all I want to do. Like I said, I don't have to agree with somebody's opinion, but if it makes you think, I feel I've done my job.
Well, certainly. I mean, I wouldn't be considering doing a show if I didn't feel comfortable enough. And with Raven Rose being a part of that show, being on your network and all that stuff, being on a couple shows now, it's that comfort to being around people that even though you've never met in person,
you feel like you have.
Right, exactly. It's that connection, that solid connection that you have with people that makes you want to do certain things or go that extra mile to donate money to a charity that you never thought you would even donate money to.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're a definite influence. So
thank you.
So we're gonna switch gears now. Let's talk about Cis Paranormal and how that got to be, and where you are with that today, and what holds the future for it.
Cis Paranormal came to be because of a guy. I've always been into the paranormal. I started doing research and doing some editing for teams, and then I met a guy and started investigating with him. The guy is no longer around. My sister started investigating with us. So when the relationship ended, we formed our own team. And that's called Cis Paranormal, and Cis stands for Supernatural Investigation Services. And here we are today, and where we stand today, we're still as strong as ever. I had to take time off for personal reasons due to a death in the family. So she has been out doing stuff, and I have kind of taken a seat back, but come springtime, I'm going to get back out there. It's taken me a while to get back in the back into reality, if you understand what I mean.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's always hard when something like that happens, and people just need to understand that you need to take a time for yourself to make sure that you know you're ready to make that move to go forward.
Exactly. So I just took some time off, and come springtime, I'll be getting back out there, and we'll be back to our 2 locations a week, hopefully, and get back on track.
And you will. You got a strong personality, and how tough you are. You'll push right through it, and you'll be fine.
Thanks.
You'll be fine.
Yep.
So, what is your favorite devices? I mean, I know you love that flashlight game.
Oh yeah, I love it. People listening can't see my eye roll. My favorite devices change for different investigations. I hate being boxed into one answer, one device, one anything. It's really hard because every situation calls for a different thing. If I had to say one, it would probably be my phone, because I can do everything. If I needed to, I can record video, I can record sound, But if you're talking about actual real device, it would be digital recorder.
That's a good one.
Yep. So, and then you can get bigger, but this is what I say. I'm a horrible guest because my mind changes. Each situation calls for a different thing. So it's hard to say one, but it would be my phone because it's handy. You always have it on you, and you can do anything in the blink of an eye that you need to do.
Isn't there, with the phone and all that stuff too? I mean, I have many apps as well on my phone. Do you feel that with having a phone with multiple tools as you have on your phone, do you think it could be a burden to one of the other tools to cause problems?
Yeah, it can.
Be all in one spot.
What do you mean?
Like you have your recorder, your
yeah, because you can only use one at a time. You mean?
Yeah, I mean, if it's sometimes like you could use two at a time. I think I've tried that once where you use your camera.
It depends, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, something like that I think would be a lot of interference too with using your phone. And plus, it depends on your battery life too, if it's a small battery life.
Yep, exactly. We have portable chargers, so we constantly use them for our phones and stuff. But that's why I said it's hard to say what your favorite device is. Regularly, it would be either a digital recorder or video camera because video does video and audio, but sometimes that recorder picks up more than audio on a camera.
Do you think the audio on your phone, with the enhanced microphones on your phone, do you think that catches more than a digital voice recorder separately? Or do you think that it does the opposite?
I think it depends on what type of phone, how good the phone is, and what type of digital recorder, and how good the recorder is. And it's also depends on circumstances. I mean, you can have a recorder in one hand and a phone in the other recording the same exact thing, and you can pick up a hello on one of them and not the other, even though they're in proximity to each other.
So, Shea.
Yes.
What do you fear the most of the paranormal?
Of the paranormal.
Or life in general, how you ever want to take it.
Paranormal-wise, I fear falling in a hole, getting hurt. I think that's the biggest obstacle we have to face. Floors giving out or, physical dangers.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, that would be my...
Didn't you say something about the woods, too? In the dark?
That's in life. I am deathly afraid of the woods, and I'm afraid of the dark. Not just afraid, they're actually phobias.
Yeah.
But in the past 5 years, I've worked on myself enough that I investigate in the dark and investigate the woods. Not alone, but I do investigate them. So,
how do you feel about going in a dark basement? Is that something you stay away from, or is that?
No, I'll do it. I just anything dark I feel the same about, but I do it. They stuck me in a closet once at the S.K. Pierce Mansion in Massachusetts.
Oh.
They said, just stay in there for 2 minutes, and 2 minutes turned into 5 minutes, and 5 minutes turned into 10 minutes, and so on and so on. So.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So you're going to be going to Hinsdale, correct?
March 20th. I don't know if this episode's going to air before or after that, but yes, March 20th, I'm going to Hinsdale with Matt, and we'll be meeting Dan Class, Madison Smith, Kay Colburn. So.
Oh, awesome group.
Yes. And many more, but Dan owns the building, and
right.
Madison and Kay are on the network, so that's why I'm using their names in particular.
Okay. So, how do you feel about going in those woods? Knowing what went on in the background in the woods, with the brother killing another brother back there, so forth.
The same as any other woods.
Okay. Just
the woods alone are more scary to me than what actually happened there.
You might come across a pukwudgie too, because I heard they got a bunch of those out there.
If I come across one, it would make me a true believer.
Yeah, that is an urban legend, correct?
I don't know if urban legend's the right term. I can't think of the term. It's just another. I don't know if urban legend's not the right term. I don't think.
Probably not. I probably. Anyway, speaking of urban legends,
Yes.
what is your favorite urban legend?
I have a couple. The Hook Man.
Oh.
You know that one?
Now, Roland explained that to me and knew that, and I kind of remembered that was brought into a movie.
Yeah. It's been forms of lots of different types of movies. They take little things here and there, but it's the kids parking on Lover's Lane, and they hear the radio gets interrupted, and somebody's escaped the asylum or the jail, depending on which legend you're listening to, and then all of a sudden they hear scraping, and sometimes they live, sometimes they don't live, but either way, there's a hook found in the car. The other urban legend is the babysitter checks on the kids, and sometimes they're alive, sometimes they're dead, but she gets a phone call, and they're calling from inside the house.
Oh, yeah, there's another movie like that, too.
Yeah, they take them from there. And it all means, as of 2019, neither one of these stories have ever happened in real life. I did extensive research on this. They take little bits of things here and there, and they throw it into one, but there is no actual foundation of fact that either one of these ever happened. But I still love them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, urban legends are just... That's all good folklore and gets you, thinking about, is it or is it not,
Yep. I love scary stories, though.
Oh, I'm a horror movie fanatic.
Me too.
Favorite...
For me, it goes serial killers, paranormal, horror movies.
Yeah, horror, paranormal. I just kind of watch some serial killers once in a while on Netflix, and they got the stories and stuff like that. But, like my favorite one is Evil Dead. And that's my favorite horror movie. Yeah. Of course, it's Bruce Campbell, favorite actor. But then you got the paranormal wise, which is the Amityville. Yep. Which has got so much controversy around it. That's why I like it, and I know both sides of the story of that. I mean, it's...
But again, even something like Amityville, you have to remember, it's a movie, and just because something says based on truth doesn't always mean it's the exact story. Hollywood takes liberties.
Oh, yeah.
And they have to, just like
paranormal
shows, same thing. It's entertainment. Based on the truth does not mean it deflects actual 1,000% truth.
Exactly. Let's see here what I got. Okay. If you had a chance to build a device for your investigations, what would it be and why?
Jesus. I should have seen this one coming. I don't know, because I'm not an engineer. I'm not that type of mind. I would love something that would show if we were like 1,000 years in the future, like when you get an EVP, if it could show the apparition or show, two things in one, but I don't have a good answer for that because that's not my alley. I'm not smart enough to.
No, we're all smart enough. It's just a matter of what it is that you want.
Yeah, I don't know, but something that could actually really see and hear, in real time, at the same time.
Yeah. I that would be interesting. kind of like what is the word I want to say? Not time warp, but
kind of like SLS camera with EVP. Wouldn't that be cool? But instead of stick figures, you actually see the person.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I thought of a device. I think I sent it to you once before. It's where you combine virtual reality with the SLS and doing the Estes method with it.
I don't know if you sent it to me.
But that's one of the ones that I was thinking about doing, like doing 3-in-1, something like that type deal.
Yeah.
But something like that takes a lot of technology to know how to make that all come about and stuff like that, and find the right person to do it. And
yeah, a lot of money.
Yeah, a lot of money is right, and then come up with the money to pay for the patent if it goes through right.
Yeah.
You know. Okay, so with today's psychic mediums out there, who are the closest to Ed and Lorraine Warren to you?
A couple?
Yeah.
Nobody.
How about single?
Nobody. Because for a couple reasons. I'm going to stick with because nowadays you can find a psychic or a medium a dime a dozen. They're all over the place. And there's social media nowadays, so you see all these people. Back then, whether you believe they were real, not real, I don't even care. You know, I don't want to get into that. But they forged a path for the paranormal field. They took it further than people in the past did, helped it along. So as of right now, I don't think anybody can compare to them.
Okay. No, that's a fair answer because I've yet to come across anyone that could do what they did together as a tandem. I mean, that's big shoes to fill.
I don't even know if you could find somebody to compare with them if you separated them and did it singularly. I don't think you could compare it right now because it was a different time, and right now it's hip and cool to be into the paranormal. It was not then.
No. I mean, to me, the closest to me I would put out there is Kelly McCarville. I think she's about as closest to them as I think she is to them. I mean, that's how good she is.
Yeah.
So that's who I would pick that would be as closest to.
Well, I love your answer.
So.
Because I love her.
Let's see. What do you think it needs to change in the paranormal field?
So much that I don't even know. We could do a whole show on this, and probably will at some point, but there's a lot of good things that happen in the paranormal field. Paranormal unity, the individuals, groups that work together, and then you got groups working with groups, and that's all great. But we've also come to a point in the paranormal where there's so many out there that their egos are so big, or that it's all about me, and nobody wants to share anything, or if they do, they don't want to, We need to get over the egos. We need to work together. We need to share information. Let people have opinions that are different than yours. Let people have beliefs that are different than yours, because after all, the paranormal is not fact. There is absolutely no facts to the paranormal. We can't prove it one way or the other beyond a reasonable doubt, period. So when you see that post that you don't like, scroll by it. You don't need to put in your 2 cents. Support people that have other opinions than you. Unless they're assholes, then don't support them. But if
Right.
it's just because they have a different opinion, I learn more from people that have different opinions than me than I do than I learn from people that have the same exact opinion from me. Meaning, because the ones that have a different opinion make me think more. And I don't always agree with them in the end, but I think about it more. And I think
Right.
we just all need to listen without fighting, without seeing who's going to get to the top of the class first, because that doesn't matter.
Right. And, the paranormal field, there's a never-ending list of learning something.
Yep.
And that's the best
Exactly.
thing about it. I mean, you could be doing it for 30, 40 years and still be learning.
Exactly.
I mean, that's why I like it, because there's just so much out there.
And if you ever think, I know everything, I've learned it all, there's nothing more to learn, time to retire, because that ain't going to happen.
Right. Exactly.
And yes,
There's
I said
new stuff
ain't.
coming out every
It
time.
ain't happening. And I said it like that on purpose. Because until something can be 100% proven, 100% fact, it's all theory. It's all opinions. It's all beliefs. So, of course, theories, opinions, beliefs can all change until it's proven.
Right. Exactly. Okay, so if you come across a full body apparition, who would you want it to be, and what would you say?
I always have trouble with this question because I don't want to wish something into existence. I don't wish for anything to be stuck or here. I don't want to wish, like family members, I do not wish to get visits from family members. I want them to be somewhere in peace. So if I have to answer this question, it would be like JFK. And it would just be to say, thanks. Thanks for being you. Thanks, I don't know. Like, awesome job. Like, something like that.
No.
If he thinks it was a single bullet or not, maybe. I don't know. I know it sounds horrible, but, like, he might have an idea of who wanted him dead.
True.
What do you think of these conspiracies? Like, but
Right.
that's my. I don't really wish to, even when I investigate locations, I don't be like, oh, I so want to see such and such. If it happens, it happens, but I don't wish it.
Yeah. It's just for me, it'd be my grandma's. Just want to know how they're doing.
That's a very popular opinion, and I'm on the outskirts of that because, like, I don't want that. I don't want to see. I don't want to communicate with somebody that I knew.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're both very religious people, and I want to know if they're in their nirvana or not. If it's all what it's cracked up to be when they're alive and they talk about it, is it actually it? Or is it something completely different?
Yeah. I'd be afraid of the answer, though. That's my whole thing.
That'd be
what
true.
if it's not? What if it's not what they thought it was? That would make me so sad. I don't know if I could handle it. I really don't.
I mean, you're stuck in space. So you're looking at dark space,
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I can understand that one completely. Let's see here. Questions. What is your biggest pet peeve of the paranormal?
People that cannot scroll by a post without commenting negatively. If it's just somebody's opinion and they're not being disrespectful and you don't like it, scroll by. People that say, if you're my friend and you say this or you believe this or you support this, I'm going to unfriend you. Those are my pet peeves.
Yeah. All right. So, this next question is one that I kind of came up with last night when I was on the Ashley Storm Show's chat room. She was interviewing Dan Class.
Dan Class, yep.
Yep. So, the question is, we are made up of energy, okay? And spirits like to feed off of us with our energy and stuff. So when you go to an investigation and you have this energy, okay, and some people like to use devices to bump up the energy a little bit in the area. Now, I kind of wonder, how different would it be if you went to an investigation with the energy you already have, but now you've had like multiple energy drinks or a energy bar to enhance your energy and heighten it, you know? Do you think when you go into an investigation like that, already heightened energy, do you think you're going to get more of a response like that, or versus going there with just your kind of low energy?
My first instinct was to say no, but the more I think of it, possibly. Because any kind of chemical or failing can make you weaker. It can make you more vulnerable to spirits. So who's to say the opposite can't be true?
Right. I mean, that's just something for me. I mean, it's something. It's kind of like an experiment I kind of want to try. Because once in a while, I'll drink a Monster Energy drink. Yeah, but in my opinion, you also have to kind of. My belief as of right now is like you kind of have to give spirits permission to use your energy, or like I always. I don't know how to word this. Maybe that's not true, but I always make it a point to say, you do not have permission to touch me. You do not have permission to use my energy. You do not have permission to attach to me. So I make a conscious decision to say out loud, these are my intentions. I want to communicate with you, but you do not have permission to physically interact with me. And if you give some permissions, does that open you up for more, just by the slim chance that something's negative if you say, use my energy? Yeah. Does that give them permission to attach a little bit more to you? Mm-hmm. Okay, so here's one for you. So when you pass on. Yes. Later in life. Hopefully. Later in life. What kind of spirit are you going to be? First of all, hopefully I won't. That's my number one. Hopefully I go someplace better and I'm not stuck somewhere. If it's a choice to visit, that's different. But that set aside, if I am a spirit, if I am a ghost, I will probably be the same obnoxious, funny, loving, bitchy person I am today. You won't be so grabby? You never know. You know? Yeah, you never know. It depends on the person. What's that saying? My personality is who I am. My attitude depends on you. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, that's how I will be as a ghost. Kelly walking down the hallway. I would grab her ass. Pinching my ass. Yeah, I would slap it. Yep. Love you, Kelly. Oh, that's a good answer. I like that. I like that a lot. All right, so we're going to have some fun questions here. Woohoo. And I think you know what these questions are. All right. Hit me, baby. So, what is the one object in the world you never want to be haunted? I love some of the other answers we've gotten. Toilet is the number one.
Toilet is the number one. And
I'm going to take that one away from you, though.
Yeah. Mine bounces around, but it's mostly like my phone or my computer because I work at home, and other than when I'm sleeping 2-3 hours a day, I'm always working on the computer. I'm always working on my phone. So if one of them were to become haunted, oh my God, that would suck.
You'd be up shit creek.
Yeah. My number 2 answer would be either my dog, my cat, or my daughter Caitlin, because they're hard enough to handle, not haunted. So add haunted to any of those, and oh my God, I am in trouble. I'd be like, in the name of the Father, the Son, Holy Spirit, Amen. May Christ compel you. So, but no, I think phone, computer, because I have enough trouble with them.
Yeah. So, a follow-up to that question is,
Yep.
What do you want to be haunted?
Nothing. Because in my opinion, that means it's being haunted by a spirit, a ghost, however you want to word it, which is another form or another word of somebody that has passed on, a deceased person, and we don't know if they're here by choice. We don't know if they're stuck here, so nothing. Because if they're not meant to be here, I don't want to wish it upon them.
True. What is your bucket list you have? Your top 5 bucket list?
Oh, I should have known this one was coming. I've done a lot of them. My first original 5, I've done a lot of them. I would still love to go to the Winchester Mystery House in California. I've been to the grave. Would love to go to the house. Hinsdale House has been on it. I'm going there in a couple weeks, so awesome. I've been to Eastern State Penn, so that's off the list. The other Pennsylvania, Pennhurst, that's still on the list. So that's 2. Lizzie Borden's, that's 3. Even though I'm less than 2 hours from it, because I grew up in Massachusetts, it's outrageous price. So, and I don't want to do an event there because when I finally go to Lizzie Borden's, I want it to be a full investigation.
So what are the top 5 locations you don't want to go to?
None. I can't think of any. Oh, number 4 is Iowa in general.
Yeah, Iowa is a good one. I mean,
just to
I've
get
been there
there
once.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been there once. That's that'd be a hard one to get to again. Hopefully, I can convince somebody to drive me again.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because it's I live in Oshkosh, so that's where the biggest world's EAA air show.
Yep.
So that's where I'm at. All right. So, what are your views on shadow people?
What do you mean views? Do I believe in them?
Believe in them, or have you seen any?
Yes.
Or...
Okay. I believe in them. Yes, I have seen them. I'm not sure what they are.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I have seen them. I had one at the old house before my house burnt down. I was going through a really bad, I don't know if you want to say haunting or experience or, but I did see one in the bedroom and it rushed at me, scared the crap out of me. With it, a short time later, my arm was fractured, in my sleep.
In your sleep it got fractured?
Yes, and not only was my daughter sleeping in the bed with me the night it happened, but it was one of those, the children end up with them mostly, where they twist the arm and it, So, yeah. So, yes, I do believe in shadow people. I'm not sure what they are. I don't think they're all bad.
Right.
But,
how do you think that ties in with sleep paralysis?
No, I see. No, not for me. I know. People hate me. Sleep paralysis is a medical term. It's when you're half awake, half asleep. When you're held down by a spirit, it's something totally different.
Yeah.
So yeah, we might mean different things. It's just the wording. I'm getting better at terms and coming to grips with some things that people say, evidence versus data.
That was one of my questions, by the way.
Yeah, it's just, I'm getting better. Ghost hunter versus paranormal investigator. But sleep paralysis, I just still can't, because it's an actual medical, it's like using the word cancer to say, instead of saying I'm possessed, it'd be like saying I have cancer to me. And I know that don't make sense to some people, because words can have different meanings, but to me, sleep paralysis will always be the medical term, and an attack by a spirit or a shadow person is something totally different.
True. That could be. I mean, my daughter's gone through quite a bit of it where she's come out and told me openly what she's seen.
One of mine, too.
I mean, she's seen the top hat man in our hallway.
I did, too. I saw it. That's what I saw in my bedroom.
That's one of those things that you just...
Yeah.
That's one of those people that you don't want to see, really.
Yeah.
I'm
not saying it doesn't happen. And that's where I think that's where people mistake what I say. I just don't agree with the name of it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that they could come up with a different terminology to not make it sound like that sleep paralysis with shadow figures or... Yeah.
I'm sorry, but sometimes sleep paralysis, no matter how much you think it's a demon, is just sleep paralysis. How we tell the difference is another whole story. It's more complicated, so that's why I have trouble with the wording.
Yeah, I can see that. What do you have coming up in the future besides the Hinsdale that we have touched up on?
Depending on when, I don't know when this is going to air, but I guess if people are listening to replay, they can go back and find it. Tomorrow night, which would be March 4th, I am on Double J radio with my sister at 10 Eastern at Nicole for Cis Paranormal. And then I have March 20th, I'll be at the Hinsdale House with Matt. April 13th, I will be on Storming the Unknown.
Okay. Where is that available on?
Check out RU Media, and everything will be updated through there. And I'm on the Freaking Awesome show in May, which is through Vibes Network. I think it's May 11th I'm on. And I have a few other things in the works. It's just I work like so much on the network that it's hard for me to fit them in. So there will be a couple other things coming up.
Okay.
But just watch my page, watch Paranormal Buzz on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We always share them on there.
Okay. And what's new for Paranormal Buzz Radio for events-wise?
Paranormal Buzz Radio. That's October 2020. I believe it's October 17th. Cis Paranormal will be, which is, again, Nicole, George, and I, my sister, as of Cis Paranormal, will be have a vendor table. We'll be attending that. Paranormal Buzz Radio is a very proud sponsor of Parafest Maine. Again, October 17th.
I think I saw an ad for that. Yep.
We will be at the Gettysfield Bash. I can't remember the date, but who doesn't know what the hell Gettysfield Bash is? But somewhere on there, June or July, they have a Facebook page and an event page. They're easy enough to find, so doesn't Parafest Maine. That's what I have right now. It's still early in the year, and like I said, I'm just starting to get into the swing of things again after the family tragedy. So.
Yeah. I do have one last question now that pops in my head.
Yes.
Of course, so I'm not looking at my notes.
All right, go ahead. Hit me.
So, okay, you know how we watch all these horror movies, paranormal shows, and stuff like that?
Yes.
if you had a chance to investigate with a director that does horror movies, let's take Rob Zombie for instance, who would you like to investigate with and why?
Of horror movies? Of direct?
Yep. A director of horror movies.
The guy, he has that weird name. His first movie was The Sixth Sense. He makes some awesome horror movies. Is he the producer and writer, or is he the director?
Is that M. Night Shyamalan?
Yes, something like Shyamalan, M. Night or something.
Okay.
So
that'd be interesting. Do you think they could handle the real life paranormal world?
Good question. I think sometimes the people you think can't, and the people you think that can't, do. Mm-hmm. Never judge a book by its cover, ever.
Because I kind of personally want to know how Rob Zombie would do on an investigation. Because you know how crazy his horror movies are.
Yeah. But in order to write and produce and direct some of these, and they don't always do all three, but just in general, you have to have some kind of inkling of what's going on. For the good ones, anyways. Right.
Another one that comes to mind is Clay Barker.
I don't recognize the name.
He, I believe he did Hellraiser.
Yeah, see, I didn't really care for Hellraiser.
No. I mean, it's a twisted kind of movie.
I didn't watch horror movies till I was an adult, so I've been recently catching up.
I
was afraid of them as a teenager, so.
There's a lot of good ones out there, that's for sure.
I have made awesome progress, let me tell you. I was afraid of everything as a teenager.
Well, back in the day, well, it depends on what kind of mind frame you're in. I mean, I didn't watch much horror movies until I got older, but that's just, when I was in high school, that's when I learned about Evil Dead, all that stuff.
Oh, yeah, I didn't like that one either.
See, I like his mindset. I like Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
He is my favorite.
He's talented. I didn't like the Evil Dead movies.
No.
So.
Well, I think that about does it.
Okay, well.
Hour went by very quick.
It did.
It always does. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us for this podcast with me hosting or interviewing Shea Carroll. And thank you for the opportunity.
You are very welcome. And again, you're listening to Darin Buss interviewing me. Awesome job on hosting, awesome job on interviewing, and awesome job on questions, Darin.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Catch you on the next one.